Philly. Also Nashville. Anthony Pettis getting a surprise knockout win over Wonder Boy's first loss via knockout in his entire career of any kind of combat sport. Great fight for the Nashville crowd. I ranked it at 6.6 spice level as far as for barbecue. Because that's how we do here in the barbecue pit. We got to rate the spice level, of the card. It could be great on paper. We can make these picks. We can get all excited about it, and then it's something to see how it actually turns out and how the fights all get scored together as one card. Philly, we got Barboza-Gaethje. And both of their stories, I believe, are going to be compelling in the fight. Barboza just got back in the win column with his knockout, or his technical knockout win of Dan Hogan made Dan quit. We remember that just recently, in December or so. Hold on just a minute, guys. I gotta drink my fucking coffee, and you never know about these fucking copyright shits. Good money. We all know about the Dan Hooker shit. In December, he's got a 20-6 MMA record, 12 of his 20 wins by knockout. Barboza. Gaethje on the other hand, 19-2 MMA record. Just now getting back in the MMA. In the win column. With his knockout win over James Vick back in August 2018. So almost a year off, maybe 9 months or so. 16 out of 19 of his wins are also by knockout. So we're going to see fireworks in the main event. Gaethje's got a chin on him. We've seen that when Barboza goes into those later rounds, he tends to play to his opponents. I guess you would say play to his opponents' fighting talent. If he went down to Hooker's talent, he played down to Khabib's talent. There's a bunch of different fights where he exhibited that kind of behavior. So I got Gaethje by decision. Let's just call it. They go to war and they stand with each other for mad long, and Barboza actually standing there, and I'm sure he'll be throwing stuff the entire fight, but it won't be enough to put Gaethje down. I don't believe, not yet in his career at least. So I got Gaethje by decision in a war of a last fight. I'm expecting more weight, a little bit higher than a 6.6 for this card. I'm not gonna lie. David Branch, Jack Manchin. What a co-main event like that? I know what you're thinking. Like, you think this fight's gonna this card's gonna beat a 6.6? It's hard. It's hard out here in rating cards with spicy levels, 0 through 10. It's fucking hard. David Branch is a beast. Jack Manchin is also a beast. Jack Manchin's 5-2 since joining the UFC. Just joined in 2016, so he's 3 years in. Only 2 losses in the division are to Cesar Ferreira, and he got knocked out by Thiago Santos. So, big top name guys there that he's lost to. His most recent wins: submission over Gerald Miscreant, or Mescart. I said I was gonna say it right, and I forgot to say it, but GM3 back in December, so he's coming off a win. David Branch 2-2 since joining in 2017. He got wins over Jato and Thiago Santos, surprisingly, at 185 pounds. He also has losses to Luke Rockhold and then most recently Jared Cannonier in November. So he's back and forth, David Branch, but he's a great fighter. I got David Branch by knockout in the first round of Jack Manson. Uh, quick prediction there for you. So we got Gaethje, Branch, Josh Emmett versus Michael Johnson. Josh Emmett has not fought since February 2018, so it has been more than a year and a month since he has fought. He got knocked out by Jeremy Stevens. Very dramatic knockout. Maybe could have been a legal knee, illegal elbow. Got knocked out and then was hit plenty of times after he was already knocked out. Um, Plenty of bad things happened to Josh Emmett in that fight. He's 4-2 in the UFC. Um, so he was doing pretty good in the UFC before that loss to Michael Johnson. He's a vet. He's been in 2010 in the UFC. He's got notable wins over Tony Ferguson, Joe Lozon, Gleason Tibau, Gleason Tibau, Edson Barboza, Dustin Poirier, and most recently Artem Lobov Artem Lobov and Andre Fili. Um, so he's on a 2-fight win streak right now, as of late. Michael Johnson riding high on confidence, striking match definitely going to be developing there. Um, I just see it going Michael Johnson in the decision. I think he could take it 3 rounds and and take himself to a decision. So I got Gaethje, Branch, Johnson. First 3 fights the last 3 fights on the main card. Um, those are my 3 guys. Karolina Kowalkiewicz and the Karate Hottie Michelle Waterson is a tough fight for me to pick. And I was thinking about making this my first ever fight that I don't pick because I don't want to make a pick here. And I hope somebody just doesn't get schooled and just be like, "Oh, you fool! You didn't want to make a pick. It was obvious." Um, Hope it lives up to what I believe it's going to be. But I don't know who to pick. I really don't. Caroline is a great fighter. She is making her return since she got knocked out cold, unconscious. One of the only female fights that I've seen go unconscious. You haven't seen more than a handful, and I just seen that, so it's more recent in my mind. Um, where that happened to her against Jessica Andrade. 9 out of 12 of her wins are by decision. So if she wins for the majority of the time, it is by outclassing and outscoring her opponent. To where Michelle Waterson comes from a karate background, which specializes in scoring techniques. For the most part in karate, you win by scoring, having a higher score. She is on a 2-fight win streak. Michelle Waterson with Courtney Casey, Courtney Casey Felice Herrig, 4-2 in the UFC. Her 2 losses are to Tisha Torres and Rose Namajunas. So she's lost the top competition. She's a great striker, we know. Um, Great karate master, or is that the right word for a woman master? Asista, whatever. Start speaking Spanish because you gotta say woman. But anyway, um, it's really hard. But I think uh, Caroline's going to come in trying to play a game that Michelle Waterson plays extremely well. And with that being said, I don't think Carolina can pull the decision away. I think it's going to end in a decision, but I think it's going to go to Michelle Waterson. And honestly, with the main card, you would think that this is going to be lower, definitely lower than a 6.6. But we're going to get to the reasons that I believe that the card is deep enough to put on some impressive fights uh, that will rank in the score. Not that I don't think these fights are impressive, but I do think that fans don't get as excited for point battles, which Carolina versus Michelle Waterson seems like it would be. Um, you know, with David Branch and Jack Hermanson are two guys in a really big spot. They have a really big chance of climbing if they win this fight in the co-main event. So neither guy, we've seen guys like that in situations like that. They might get hesitant. They may not want to pull the trigger. So that could be a really long, drawn-out fight. There could be a lot of drawn-out fights there on the like non-action packed decisions. Things like that. But I think the rest of the card will make up for it. You got Paul Craig also on the main card. And I'm only going to try to say it once, and then I'm going to call you Kennedy from then on. But Paul Craig versus Kennedy, the Setwenchucha? No, the Senchekta. The Senchek? Kennedy. Anyway, Paul Craig, 2-3 in the UFC, 2 wins, 3 losses. He just lost to Jimmy Crute. He beat Khalil Round. He lost to Khalil Roundtree and also Tyson Pedro. 9 out of his 10 pro wins are by submission. 2 out of 3 of his losses are by knockout. So we obviously see where his weaknesses and where his strengths lie within his record that he has in pro MMA as far and goes past UFC. Goes to the beginning days of his career because let's be honest, the guy's only what 3 losses, 10 wins, so he's only 13 fights in. 5 of which were in the UFC, so he got thrown in pretty young, which means he's pretty damn good. So Kennedy 6-0 as pro record, also getting thrown in there pretty young. Into the UFC's last fight was a knockout on Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series. He is 4-6 out of his wins are by knockout. So he naturally uses his strikes to finish fights, and that is what Paul Craig's downfall seems to be. And as long as Mr. Kennedy has pretty good takedown defense, or any kind of takedown defense at all, to where he could stuff a takedown for Paul Craig and make it a pretty long night for him. But I'm going to go to knockout in the first round from my man Kennedy, no name for the last. Which brings us to the last fight of the main card. Shaman Moraes versus Sadiq Youssef, which Sadiq Youssef is pretty interesting to talk about because I just went and covered the Island Fights 54, which have Mike Davis on it. Sadiq Youssef being the only gentleman that defeated Mike Davis on Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, ironically enough. We'll get to that in a minute, though. Sadiq's 8-1 pro record, Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series alum. I just tell you about that. With the Mike Davis, he's 1-0 in the UFC after that. He beat Saman Makhtaran in December. So, pretty impressive win there. Got him springing through his division. His one loss was when he got knocked out by Luis Gomez back in 2017. Gomez, who lost his Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series fight. So it all comes full circle, but he's 8-1. 2-1 in the UFC is Moraes. He lost his debut by submission to Zabit. 5 out of 11, so almost half his wins are by knockout. 2 losses of his are by submission. Only other loss he has is to Marlon Moraes in World Series of Fighting in 2015. So he's only lost the top competition here. Sadiq's a young guy, although I think he has high finishing ability standing up, so I'm going to go with Sadiq Yusuf knockout in the second round. I think Yusuf will figure it out. Um, so we got Kennedy, Yusuf, um, Gaethje. Let's look back. Gaethje, Branch, Johnson, Waterson, and Yusuf and Kennedy. Um, to close out that card, they got Ray Borg uh, going through three different opponents. Casey Kennedy's who he lands on. But we get to see Ray Borg back in action. Ross Pearson back in action against Desmond Green. That's a great old school fight. Kevin Holland versus GM3, the guy, Gerald Mushgrant, that we were talking about earlier. Myra Munoz, who's an up and comer, very exciting. Sabrina Mazo, she's going to be fighting. Alex Perez, Mark De La Rosa is also going to be an exciting fight coming on there. And they also have another one, Jessica Alger. Jessica Alger is going to be fighting. I forgot who she's going to be fighting on there, though. Um, but yeah, man, it's going to be pretty exciting for Philly. It's going to be on early. Everybody should check it out. It's on ESPN, UFC Philly. I went to Island Fights 54, covered that, took pictures, videoed, live updates. Um, Mike Davis and Chase Hooper are both coming away with submission wins. Mike Davis, of course, being the main event, impressive. Kind of had him in a backwards triangle choke, which he then turned into a Kimura. Kind of got his way into, a triangle choke is where you're facing me and I have your head in and I'm clamping the right leg down on the left leg into a triangle, clamping it down or on your head and your arms in there. I'm doing that, but he was doing that from behind him to where the guy was looking away from him. So when he's doing that, he's beating him up. When the guy throws his hands up, Mike Davis grabs his hands in the Kimura position, just yanks it, and he gets him like 3/4 of the way back, and he kind of just pulls surprise and gets him the whole way back, gets a submission. Uh, Either way, Mike Davis is a really impressive fighter, 7-1 now pro record. Has one loss coming to Sadiq Yusuf. So, um, me and him were talking earlier. He told me he wants to beat, which I think that would be an exciting fight. I know the UFC probably wouldn't entertain that because it would be Davis's debut versus Zabit, who they're trying to push really hard. But hey, if that's what you want to call it, I'd say give it to him too because I think that'd be an exciting fight, Zabit versus Mike Davis. But other than that, I think Andre Feely. Um, who did I tell him? I think I told him Andre Feely, maybe a Joe Duffy who just fought. Maybe Joe Duffy tries to come back really soon. Um, there's a lot of good opponents that Mike Davis could try to take on at featherweight in the UFC. Chase Hooper's just waiting for his time. That kid's just really just waiting for his time. Can't say that. Really impressive submission win that he pulled off. So, two names to look for coming out of Island Fights: Mike Davis, Chase Hooper. I think I haven't spoken to Chase, but Mike Davis, I definitely have spoken to him. He wants to get into the UFC. He wants also the money, so he's also comfortable with looking at bare knuckle boxing. He said, or the PFL because he heard those are the two higher payer ones. So. It's a talented guy, man. I wouldn't let the talent slip away like that. Honestly, he's a really talented guy, Mike Davis, and he showed that quickly on Friday night. Um, Always shouts out to my guys, Pure Evil MMA, Robin Black, um, Craig Allen, Fight Night Picks, Dan Lamorte, funniest man on Twitter. Hopefully, be going to one of his shows when it comes around my way. Theo Vaughn, OG, Theo Vaughn, Smoking Art. Um, that guy makes some good art, man. He draws. I don't know if he draws or he puts in like a fucking paper mache or whatever he does. But He makes that shit look pretty cool. He does pretty good art. So everybody go check him out on Twitter. Um, we'll be back. We might be doing a live stream on Saturday. Might have a guest. Yeah. So we'll see. But come check us out. Either way, Saturday or if it's next Tuesday. And we're doing predictions next Tuesday. And we're telling you how horrible I did or how good I did. Not too bad. We're still over 500, guys. So still over 500. But we'll see you then, guys. Come back, holler at us.